This is The Jump Around with Jim Rutledge and Pablo Iglesias, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
Welcome into the Jump Around NFL Draft Week edition. Because of that, we're not going to do a live show. We're going to play back an interview that Pablo Iglesias did with Jack Nelson and one that he did with Hunter Wohler. Also, last week, we got a chance to catch up with Matt Miller from ESPN on the Jim, Matt, and Molly Show. We'll play some of those clips for you as well. Hopefully the Badgers have some higher picks than that are being predicted, but we'll find out what Jack Nelson and Hunter Wohler have to say about all that next. But don't forget, shop Beauty Rest Black Mattresses at Steinhafels. Beauty Rest Black Mattresses use sleep climate technology that transfers heat away from the body and triple-stranded pocket coil technology to give you the most advanced support system in a mattress. Right now, the new Beauty Rest Black is only $42 per month when you use Steinhafels' 60-month financing plus. Get up to $300 in Steinhafels cash. Shop in-store or online at steinhafels.com. All right, let's hear from Hunter Wohler.
Pablo Iglesias here with Hunter Wohler for ESPN Madison after his Wisconsin Pro Day. Hunter, welcome back to Wisconsin. How was Indy, too, by the way?
It was good. It was fun. It was busy. But it's an opportunity just to get on the field, show yourself, meet some new guys, have some fun, and really just enjoy every step of the process.
Have you allowed yourself to process all of this? Or I know it's one thing after the next, too, because now you gotta wait until draft day. But have you given yourself that chance to take a step back and really just appreciate the moment?
I really think I did after our field day in Indianapolis. I think once I got back up to my room, I was able to sit down and just kind of think and be thankful, because that was, you do the Senior Bowl and then the Combine's the next big thing, and it's like there's a lot riding on it, and you can prove yourself in a big way. And so I got back to my room and I was just kind of thankful for the way this journey has gone, and just thankful for all the people that have helped me get here.
Let's throw it back to Indy, too. I mean, a lot of different things for you. What was the moment for you where you're like, man, this is real, this is happening moment for you when you were out at the Combine?
I think right when we walked out on the field, right when we got on the field and we started to warm up, I was like, dang, like we're here. You kind of look around a little bit and just take it all in, because that's all you can do is just kind of take everything in stride and really just enjoy the moment.
Did you get to talk to any former teammates or anyone in the league too beforehand, get some advice? Who were guys that you connected with beforehand?
It was great to see Chimere Dike again, Graham Mertz. Got to see both of them, which was fantastic. Talked to Alec Ingold a little bit, and he's got us. He gave me the pleasure of joining a class with a bunch of other NFL guys. So I was just able to kind of pick their brain a little bit and ask kind of how to go about this process. So it's been good to reconnect with those people and then just build other relationships along the way.
Of course, it's a blessing to get that invite to get to go to Indy, be one of the guys to represent Wisconsin. But what is it about doing some of the activities here on campus in a place that you're familiar with, around people that you know, your family, friends, all those things? That's
exactly what it is. Like, just to be able to come home, probably work out on this field one last time, and do it around the people that I've spent the last 4 years with, and guys that have seen the good and the bad and all the ups and downs. So it's a blessing to come back here and be able to do this one last time.
Now, I'm not going to ask you exactly what the conversation was like, but I noticed like the Denver Broncos, you were talking to one of their scouts for a little bit. Are there teams that feel like they're super heavily interested that you've been having some conversations with?
A little bit, but it's also kind of tough because teams hold their cards pretty close to you, and there's 20 other guys that they're looking at just in my position alone. So it's hard to gauge it. You just kind of now after getting all this done, it's just kind of wait and hope and see what happens.
What surprised you the most about the process?
Honestly, I think there might have been a little more downtime than I anticipated. Outside of like the Senior Bowl and the Combine, we're extremely busy, but other than that, like just when we were back training, it was you work out and then you just kind of hang out by yourself in your room. So it's definitely different, but it's great because you get some time just kind of reflect and enjoy some downtime and just be able to relax a little bit.
Let's talk a little bit about the Wisconsin side of it too. I was talking with Jack Nelson as well, catching up with him. There's so many layers to this year's draft too. First off, to get to put your name in the hat in general is always a fun thing. To get to represent Wisconsin, to get to be a Wisconsin kid, and also to have the draft in Green Bay. I mean, so many different layers to it. How special do you think this year's is compared to years past?
It's definitely cool. I didn't think there was ever going to be a draft in Green Bay. I don't know if there will be another one in my lifetime. So it's going to be very cool to have it be there, and I have no idea where I'm going to be when the draft comes around. But it's special that it's in Wisconsin, and that kind of my whole career has played out in this way.
What does it mean to represent the Badgers and also Muskego too?
It means everything. It means the world to me. There's a lot of people that have helped me kind of get to where I am right now, and so to be able to represent them and be able to play this game, you do everything you can to, put on for the people that put their faith in you and took a chance on you. So it's a huge blessing, and I just do everything I can to make them proud.
All 32 teams are knocking on your door. What is it in terms of a type of player that they're going to get? Who is the guy that they drafted, Hunter Wohler? What kind of player are they going to get out of you?
Physical, a hard worker, going to show up every day and just go to work and carry the standard, and definitely going to have no issues. Great locker room guy, and just going to love every minute of it.
You're getting some good feedback too. What have the scouts been telling you?
A lot of different stuff.
Okay.
A lot of different stuff. So you take the good and the bad, and just find more things to work on.
What are the draft day plans, or what's the plan for the weekend?
No idea yet. No idea. I know I'll be with my parents, and that's about as far as I've gotten.
Touching on it again a little bit too. Again, to hear your name on draft day in general is always going to be a blessing. It's going to be something fun, but the fact that it's here at home too. Again, this is something that a kid always dreams about. Do you feel like that is just kind of like a dream come true wherever you get to go and whoever gives you that call?
100%. This has been the goal for a long, long time, and to finally, get to this point and give myself an opportunity, it's going to be it's going to be a pretty special day, and I think it's going to be a very emotional day. But then right away, it's going to be flip that mindset, and it's time to go to work.
One last question, if you can give yourself a piece of advice from day one Hunter Wohler, whether it's the kid at Muskego or the kid that stepped onto Wisconsin's campus for the first time, if you could go back and talk to that day one version of yourself, what's the advice that you'd say that led you up to this point?
Just keep pushing. Keep being you. Keep trusting in the people around you, and most of all, trusting your abilities and what you can accomplish.
All right, great stuff. Absolutely. Well, once again, this is Hunter Wohler. Pablo Iglesias here for ESPN Madison. Hunter, best of luck, man. Can't wait to see where your career takes you.
I appreciate that.
That was Hunter Wohler with Pablo Iglesias at Badger Pro Day. Now let's hear from Jack Nelson.
Pablo Iglesias here with ESPN Madison, joined by Jack Nelson here in Wisconsin Pro Day. Jack, you had a great time at Indy, and then what is it like, though, being here, getting to do these in front of the guys that you love here in Wisconsin?
It means the world. I've put so many hours in here doing the same kind of stuff, sets, going through practice, pre-practice, walkthroughs, and to come back, after being gone for 3 months and, seeing all my guys, seeing all my buddies, being in the place that I love, it's definitely something special.
Tell us that experience in Indy, too. What was it like, first off, getting that invite? That's got to be special for a football player.
Absolutely. That's something you dream of as a kid, and to go to meet all those other guys, the best in the nation, to kind of, measure yourself against those guys, it's certainly something special.
What did you learn about yourself during that whole process, too?
Yeah, I learned that I'm a long, tall tackle. I was one of the tallest and longest there. I also learned that I'm flexible. They do all your sort of, take a squat, touch toes, that kind of stuff. And, seeing how some guys struggle with that, and I was able to just get up there and do it real well.
Obviously, anybody wants to get drafted by anyone, but do you have I wouldn't say a choice, but who are the teams that you're really talking to? Who'd you have some heavy conversations with in Indy?
Yeah, I talked to the Chiefs a lot.
Yeah.
I talked to the
Not
Browns.
too bad if you go to the Kingdom, I'm sure, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I talked to the Browns, Baltimore. But, it really doesn't matter too much for me.
Sure.
I just want to get to a good team that I fit in well with and, get the opportunity to really prove myself.
What are teams going to get? Whoever takes you. Out of these 32 teams that are out there, what are they going to get in Jack Nelson?
They're going to get a durable, tough, and experienced tackle. My goal is my rookie year, I want to prove that I can play right tackle, left tackle in the NFL my rookie year. And, that's what I'm going to do. Every decision that I make, my daily life, it's all about, proving that.
Jack, let's talk about the Wisconsin career, too. You experienced a lot over these last 2 years. Who were you when you stepped onto this campus day one? Who are you in this moment today?
Yeah, I would say day one, I was just a kid, only 260, 270. Didn't really know what was going on, how to do it. I knew that I was going to try hard. I knew I was going to go out there and get all riled up and intense and give it my all and play like a bat out of hell. But then as I progressed in my career, I learned to be a leader. I learned to deal with the ups and downs. I knew that I learned to deal that everything's not going to be perfect. You're going to have a bad play. I learned to play a bunch of different styles of football, a bunch of different techniques. I had 4 line coaches, and now sitting here, I think I'm an experienced, tough, durable, and better player with my poise as well. I'm not always so amped up and ready to go out there and hurt somebody. It's more about playing with control and playing with technique.
And you come from a good line too. Your dad. I noticed that your dad's always here at practice.
Absolutely,
He's
yeah.
always here at pro day. What is it like to have that family support here so close?
It means the
to home?
world. It means the world. I mean, my dad had a similar experience at Wisconsin. Went through a coaching change, a handful of different O-line coaches, and he had the ups, the downs, and he was able to go through the combine, that kind of stuff, and to do that with him, and to compare our experiences, for him to give me how it was for him, how it could be different for me. I mean, that's something I'm really thankful for, and to also just kind of put my best foot forward for not just the state and my friends, but my family too. It just runs real deep here. I got my little brother here, like you said. My dad played here. My grandpa went here. My grandpa before him went here, and Madison really does mean the world to me. It's something very special.
Jack, there's so many layers to one, just to be eligible for the draft and put your name in there. That's always a blessing, and to get to do it for Wisconsin, to get to be a Stoughton kid, but also to have the draft in Green Bay. I mean, This is Wisconsin on Wisconsin.
Absolutely.
For you right now. Tell me a little bit about that and the impact you hope to make for how big of this year's draft is.
Yeah, I mean, like I was telling the media over there, a lot of, you think about the draft a lot, especially as you're training and stuff like that, but ultimately, I was doing some thinking, and it just, it really doesn't matter as long as I get my shot. As long as I get my shot to make a team and to, prove people I can play tackle in the NFL. And, that's what I'm going to do. So, whatever team drafts me, whatever round, whatever pick I go, it doesn't matter. It's just about, getting on that team, making the team, and proving to them.
But there's got to be that little special element, too.
Absolutely.
I mean, when your name's called in Green Bay, right?
Absolutely. I mean, I love Wisconsin. Yeah, I absolutely love it. I was out in California. I've been everywhere around here. I was really well traveled as a kid. But, I just, something about Wisconsin, the people, Madison especially, I mean, it really does mean the world to me. I was out in California, the beach, it was beautiful, Orange County, but a little part of me really missed Madison. Even though it was freezing here, my brother's telling me, it's like negative whatever, sno, but I definitely missed it a lot.
You really had it hard out there, huh?
Yeah.
Really tough, really
Oh,
tough.
yeah.
Well, again, just reflecting on all these years that you've had to, what are you most hopeful for Wisconsin football as you take this next step?
Yeah, well, I'm hopeful. I'm really hoping they get back to what we do best. We got that new OC hire. I was able to sit in a couple meetings, talking to my little brother, talking to the O-line guys, and I'm really hopeful. I think Coach Grimes combines a lot of the stuff that we do best here at Wisconsin historically, also with a little bit of a new spin on it. And so, after kind of a rocky last 2 years, I think we're on the up.
Last thing for me, what's one piece of advice, again, that you talk to or give the day one version of yourself, that young Stoughton kid who's trying to continue that legacy here at Wisconsin football? If you got to talk to that kid at Stoughton, what would you say to him?
I would just say, just keep grinding, keep the grind up, but just take a deep breath. Just because you're trying to grind the hardest out there, doesn't mean it's got to be so intense all the time.
Perfect. All right. Once again, Pablo Iglesias here with Jack Nelson. Jack, best of luck in the league. We can't wait to hear your name on draft day.
Thank you.
Appreciate your time, man.
Thanks.
That was Jack Nelson with Pablo Iglesias at Badger Pro Day, and we'll wrap up the show hearing from Matt Miller as he joined Jim, Matt, and Molly last week. Talking with Matt Miller of ESPN NFL draft analyst and insider. You have in your latest mock draft, Kelvin Banks going to the Packers, an offensive tackle from Texas. But a lot of fans here, and look, it's a position that just gets people excited. The Packers have not taken a wide receiver in the first round since 2002. That was Javon Walker out of Florida State. When you're coming up with your mock draft, do you count for team history, which especially that team history, that's a long time not to take a wide receiver in the first round. Does that kind of pop into your brain and some of your research when you're putting together these picks?
Team history, team philosophy does. Because rules like that are meant to be broken. So when fans say, our team has never taken this type of player in the first round, I can remember the Baltimore Ravens under Ozzie Newsome had never taken a LSU player in the first round. And then they did. So it's, you have those rules, and we'll bring them up during the draft, but philosophy matters more. And I think for Green Bay, it's that philosophy of, they've needed receivers in the first round and not done it. So that tells you that it feels like a hard and fast rule from Brian Gutekunst and his crew. And so when you get to Green Bay, you can look at the receivers on the board and wait till the second round anyway. Let's go in the trenches because that's where they tend to spend their picks in the first round.
Something that we've talked about a couple times on our show is obviously the draft is in Green Bay this year. Do you think there's any chance that the Green Bay Packers trade away their first round pick? Because I just think that, as a fan of the Packers, personally, I would be upset if they did, just because it's like you have a first round pick and it's in Green Bay, right? Like, it would be crazy to me if they did, but also if they ultimately got a better situation, better players, more bang for their buck, so be it. Do you think there's any chance that they do that?
I'm a big sports conspiracy theory person, like the frozen envelope for the Knicks, the Michael Jordan thing. I love this idea. And when the draft was in Kansas City, it's funny, this came up. The Chiefs kind of got stuck. I don't know if you guys remember that, but like the board had been wiped out at their positions of need. And there is a conspiracy that they made the pick of been from Kansas State, Felix and Uzoma. They took him because they wanted to make a pick in the first round when the draft is in their city. I'm supporting that. I'm just saying, conspiracy theory. It's one that I happen to enjoy a lot. So I'm with you. I think if you're the host city, you should have to make your pick in the first round. For Green Bay, it does make some sense to slide back a little bit. I would worry, though, so many playoff teams this year have similar needs. So you don't want to get behind Buffalo and Kansas City because they have a lot of the same needs that you have. We could even say Houston at 25 has the same needs that the Packers have. So that would be the only risk, is sliding back too far, and then your board gets wide similar team need.
Matt, if you have 1 minute, if you could disconnect and reconnect, you've been cutting in and out the last two answers there. So if we could do that real quick, that'd be great. We're talking with Matt Miller of ESPN. We really appreciate his time, but we want to make sure we actually can hear his answers and everything. I absolutely love, I'm going to dive deeper into it, but his top 600 players is what I'm going to use as our new kind of Bible for prospecting the Packers, as Matt is back. So Molly, you can go ahead and ask a question here. But Matt, I was just saying I love the 600 prospect manifesto you put out there, and I love the player comps as well. So I'm excited to dig into that, because we do a segment here on the show, which is like prospecting the Packers, where we kind of dig into would you rather have this player or that player? And this is going to get a lot of. You're going to make us sound really smart as we kind of just ape what you wrote. So we appreciate that.
No, that's what it's there for, right? Is to be a black book to help everyone. Calling it a manifesto is a little tough, but I guess when you rank 600 players, it kind of speaks to a lot of time in your basement if you rank 600 players. So I get it.
Matt, I am curious, what does your draft week/weekend look like? I know that you're going to be up in Green Bay doing a show on ESPN, correct?
Yeah, so I will be on the main ESPN broadcast on Saturday, where we break down all the players in the manifesto, rounds 4, 5, 6, 7. But I'll also be up there all week doing shows like SportsCenter and NFL Live and things like that as we get ready for the draft.
Matt, I wanted to ask you about some current Badgers, but then also some players with Badger ties, as with the NIL and the transfer portal in the NFL. There's kind of former Badgers that are currently in college getting ready to go to the NFL. But between Hunter Wohler, Jack Nelson, Joe Huber, I would imagine I might have read them in order where they're going to go. But do you think all three get drafted, and who do you think might get drafted the highest?
I would say all three definitely get drafted. I would expect Jack Nelson, I think, has a shot at the third round because the tackle class is not great after the first round. There's a drop off. That could be really good news for him. I'm a Joe Huber fan. I think his versatility along the interior of the offensive line is going to be valuable. But I am a huge Hunter Wohler fan. Any safety who hits like that, I'm going to be a fan of you. I'm with you. He has a shot. I would think late third, early fourth round is where I would expect his name to be called. Selfishly, I hope he's drafted in the fourth round so I can talk about him when he gets picked. But for his sake, I hope he's long gone before I get on the desk.
What about former Badgers, Chimere Dike, Graham Mertz? What do you think about them?
Dike had a great pre-draft process. The speed, the testing. And this wide receiver class is a little bit light. The way that and the pre-draft process that he had with the All-Star Game Combine, his stock is shot up. I think he has a shot to be fourth or fifth round. Graham Mertz is going to be a long shot. I know he was a Combine invite. The word I got was he was a Combine invite because of medicals. Teams really wanted the opportunity to evaluate the injury history and see where he's at. But this is a light quarterback group. So if 12 or 13 quarterbacks get drafted, I think he's got a shot.
Following up on that, the Packers seem to be a team that love to either acquire a undrafted free agent or maybe even draft a quarterback. Is that something you could see on the table for the Packers somewhere? I know that they did it last year. They have Malik Willis. They have Jordan Love, obviously, but adding another quarterback seems like good business.
I'm still a believer in the Ron Wolf strategy of get one every year, whether that's in the 6th, 7th round or as a priority undrafted free agent, someone that you're making a concentrated effort to recruit them. You're probably calling them in the 6th round saying, if you don't get drafted, we would love to sign you. Here's 40 grand or whatever to get them in camp. So yes, I think, especially when you have the quarterback position solved, I think it's very important to be a quarterback factory, to continue to turn the wheel. You never know what's going to happen with your starters. And especially with a 17 game and ultimately an 18 game season coming, the number 2 quarterback in a lot of places, just like Malik Willis was last year, is going to become really valuable. So I would continue to invest, again, even if it's round 6 or round 7. I think you add one of those guys every year.
All right, last 2 questions for you. I have another one chiming in from the fans, and this has been a name that people are excited about. Ted McMillan, could he fall to number 23, or how much do you think the Packers would have to trade up to get him, the wide receiver, I believe, from Arizona?
He is from Arizona, wide receiver. I think he could fall to 23. I don't hear a consensus from teams on love for him. That said, it only takes one team, just like with Michael Penix Jr. last year. No one had him going 8 until the Falcons took him at 8. So with McMillan, he could go 6 to the Raiders, and you would understand it, right? You would say, okay, they don't have a receiver. They need one for Geno Smith. But it's also possible that he gets through the teens, and maybe someone like Matthew Golden from Texas jumps him, maybe Luther Burden from Missouri, Emeka Ibuka from Ohio State, to where he could actually somewhat realistically be there at 23.
Last one, I'm kind of putting you on the spot, but through the NFC North, who do you think over the last, let's say, 3 years has had like the best draft, the ability to look back of the teams, the Bears, the Lions, the Packers, and the Vikings?
I still love what the Bears did last year. I know it didn't pan out, but Caleb Williams, Rome Odunze was such a special pairing. So I loved that, but again, the results weren't there. I think Detroit's done a really, really good job of not only drafting good players, but drafting for their scheme and being willing to go against the grain. When they took Jahmyr Gibbs, no one thought that was a good value, where they took him at 12 overall. It's proven to be really, really smart. Even when they took Penei Sewell, it's like, oh, we're going to draft this guy and make him play right tackle. This is such a waste. And now he's the best right tackle in football, and he's eventually going to move to the left side. So I think Detroit has done a fantastic job. And it obviously, the success they've had points to how well they've drafted.
Matt, we really appreciate your time. Thank you so much, and thanks for hopping off and reconnecting with us. We appreciate it.
Yeah, of course, guys. Thanks for talking to me.
Well, that has been the show. Hopefully the Badgers do well in the NFL draft. Enjoy all of our NFL Draft Week coverage. This has been the Jump Around.